Novo u ponudi fight staffa MMA Elite. Majice kratkih rukava već od 199 kuna, kratke hlačice 249 kuna, hlačice za borbu 299 kuna i hoodie 349 kuna. If you wanna fight, fight with style.
Weidman je ljetos napravio vjerojatno najveće iznenađenje u povijesti MMA i sporta, svladavši do tada neprikosnovenog Andersona Silvu i pritom otevši pojas UFC prvaka. Ne treba biti previše mudar kako bi se shvatilo da će revanš izazvati nezapamćen interes i rijetko viđenu pompu. Novogodišnji UFC-ov vrhunac sezone je obično rezerviran za blockbustere, a UFC 168 i obračun Silve i Weidmana to sigurno jest. Noć sa subote na nedjelju, 29. prosinca, 4 sata iza ponoći, samo na Fight Channel Pay-Per-View.
Chris Weidman beating Andersona Silvu was the biggest accomplishment that anybody has ever achieved inside the octagon. It was also one of the most satisfying to a lot of people because we had seen Silva taunt and play inside the octagon, but never have we seen him pay for it. And Chris Weidman made him pay.
I just knew he was going to be doing that type of stuff. It's just ingrained in my head, just based off my work every single day, my sparring sessions. I always move forward. I don't care what the other guy's doing. I'm moving forward, and I'm putting pressure on the guy.
Weidman actually threw like a backhand because he just wanted to hit Anderson so bad. And the left hook landed, and it was a great punch.
We saw Chris Weidman destroy Andersona Silvu. Chris Weidman slayed the dragon.
Eu estava conseguindo imprimir o meu ritmo de luta e fazer com que a minha técnica fosse um pouco mais superior do que a dele. E em algum momento eu acabei perdendo o controle, mas estava conseguindo fazer com que ele entrasse no meu jogo, sim.
There's no doubt that he got into Chris's head by the end of the first round. The stuff that he was doing, if he did that stuff and won the fight, they'd be talking about what a genius he is. This doesn't do anything to his legacy.
What an amazing fight!
He was always a legend and a god from doing it before, and then he gets knocked out, then everyone has a problem with his strategy.
A lot of people are saying Silva lost, Weidman didn't win, and that's unfortunate. Chris Weidman really went out there, did exactly what he needed to do. He took him down. He almost submitted Silva early in that fight, and when he had the opportunities to score on the feet, he absolutely did.
Chris Weidman is on fire right now. He's young, he's strong, he's confident, he's undefeated. Chris Weidman is a real juggernaut. He's the first man inside the octagon to defeat the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the history of the sport. And he will have a distinct psychological advantage going into the octagon.
I'm going to prove it again, finish him again, and look really on another level as a fighter.
I think it's going to be very difficult for Andersona Silva to get that belt back.
Ele é atleta completo, né? Ele é o campeão, então tem que ser respeitado. Ele é bom no pé, bom no chão, tem bom wrestler, mas eu acredito que ele vai fazer o mesmo jogo de novo, tentar botar para baixo.
My game plan is, I'm telling Andersona Silva my game plan. If he has his hands down, I'm punching him in his face. If he has his hands up, I'm taking him down. If I'm kicking him, I'm going to be walking forward with my chin down and my teeth gritted. And I don't care what he throws at me, I'm going to be there.
That was a tremendous victory. On December 28th, I think we're going to see a more focused Andersona Silva. He's going to try to frustrate his opponent, Chris Weidman, but I think he's going to keep his hands up. He's going to try to lure him in the same way, but not leave those huge openings that he left in that first fight against Chris Weidman.
Anderson was dominating the fight on the feet before he decided to start clowning with Chris Weidman, hitting Chris Weidman at will with leg kicks. He was lightning fast. He also showed excellent submission defense and getting out of a nasty heel hook. You have to question whether or not that one absolutely critical error was the reason why Anderson lost that fight.
Vou lutar como sempre lutei, mantendo a minha disciplina mental, o meu foco. E vou lá para fazer o que eu tenho que fazer, ir lá e lutar e vencer meu adversário.
Andersona Silva is, without a doubt, the most spectacularly successful fighter in the history of the UFC. Over and over and over again, Andersona Silva has proven to be a master inside the octagon.
How good was that?
The one man that defeated him, Chris Weidman, may have awoken the sleeping giant.
É novo Anderson que está chegando e mais maduro, com a cabeça mais no lugar, eu acho.
Andersona Silva was the greatest of all time for a long period. This is a guy who held the belt longer than anyone in UFC history. Does he have anything to prove? I don't really think so, only for himself. He's still the greatest of all time.
O que está em jogo é eu voltar, é um título, mas mais que o título é a minha energia e a minha vontade de estar vencendo sempre.
You know, the best way to improve is when you lose. So I'm sure he's training harder than he ever has, and I'm sure it's motivated him.
Can he do it? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I am fired up to see that.
I'm definitely looking forward to prove to a lot of people that doubt me, you know, and think that the last fight was a fluke. I'm very excited to prove them wrong.
Eu acho que tudo que eu fiz na luta passada é passado, né? O que importa agora é a próxima luta e o quanto eu tô treinando para essa luta. Eu acho que...
I would hate to say that the Andersona Silvu era is over. I'm a fan of his. I hope he continues after he loses this next fight to do great things.
This fight between Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate is one of the biggest grudge matches of all time.
I think Ronda's pretty arrogant, and I think that she's also fairly delusional.
She's just grasping at negatives because there's so few flaws to find in 10 first-round finishes.
It is all over! Miesha Tate comes out swinging!
This is not just a fight for the UFC Women's Bantamweight title. There's an extreme amount of emotion and intensity.
They're at the top of their game, and the way that things panned out on The Ultimate Fighter, these girls do not like each other.
Good fight.
Yeah, I couldn't get them out of the octagon fast enough.
I think Ronda's actions on the show turned the fans a little bit. Maybe not because they dislike Ronda, only because they support Miesha.
All right.
People saw Ronda's emotional outburst, they saw her coaching, and they said, oh, you know, I think Ronda's or Ronda's crazy. What I saw is an absolutely unapologetic, ferocious competitor.
Ronda Rousey is a judo silver medalist in the World Championships. She is a bronze medalist in the Olympics. Ronda was able to establish herself as one of the best in the world in a field that is even more competitive than mixed martial arts.
Ronda Rousey has won every single fight by armbar. We've never seen one fighter dominate every single fight by one technique that everyone knows is their #1 technique and still get it. That's how good her technique is.
Once again, first round armbar finish for the champion.
Frankly, I think I'm better than Miesha in every single category. And I think I'm better than Miesha at putting everything together.
I also understand we are not touching gloves.
I think having fought Ronda once before gives me a very good grasp on the kind of fighter she is, where I see the holes in her game.
They met once for the Strikeforce title, and Ronda Rousey caught Miesha Tate in an armbar, broke Miesha Tate's arm.
Ronda Rousey is the new Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight champion.
I did hit her or crack her a few times. I think I'm the only person to ever get her to go backwards, so I know I hit her pretty good. But at the same time, I ran right into the throw. I think I'm also the only girl to ever escape one of her arm bars, so I know if I can do it once, I can do it as many times as I need to.
Miesha Tate is a very intelligent fighter. She has no weaknesses in her game.
Performance by Miesha Tate.
She has very good stand-up, very good grappling, very good takedowns, very good defense, very good submissions. Everything she does is world-class.
Miesha Tate submits Julie Kelsey.
I think that when we get into the cage, she's gonna have a cooler head than she's ever had. I think she's gonna be more technically sound than she's ever been. I think she's gonna be better all around.
For Miesha to win this fight, she has to use her wrestling in reverse. Don't go to the ground. Don't get in the tie-up.
If the wrestling and the judo cancel each other out in this fight between Tate and Rousey, it's going to be tough to see who really has the advantage. Ronda Rousey has excellent striking. We just haven't really seen it that much. It's all to really set up her takedowns and her grappling skills, but she hits extremely hard. She has fast hands. We're only going to find out who has the better striking on fight.
I'm just looking forward to winning. I really don't care how. I don't have anything to prove except for that I'm the best.
I can't wait to settle all this in the octagon. I'm working so hard every single day to be the UFC champion. I would love nothing more than to knock her out.
Every fight, I'm a different and more improved fighter. I know I'm gonna retire undefeated and with the belt.
Chris Weidman je ljetos napravio vjerojatno najveće iznenađenje u povijesti MMA sporta, svladavši do tada neprikosnovenog Andersona Silvu i pritom otevši pojas UFC prvaka. Ne treba biti previše mudar kako bi se shvatilo da će revanš izazvati nezapamćen interes i rijetko viđenu pompu. Novogodišnji UFC-ov vrhunac sezone je obično rezerviran za blockbustere, a UFC 168 i obračun Silve i Weidmana to sigurno jest. Noć sa subote na nedjelju, 29. prosinca, 4 sata iza ponoći, samo na Fight Channel Pay-Per-View.
Novo u ponudi Fight Stuffa, Venom, najpoznatiji brend borilačke opreme i odjeće, Van Team Hoodie, 499 kuna, majice kratkih rukava, već od 249 kuna, štitnici, već od 99 kuna, bandaže, već od 49 kuna. If you wanna fight, fight with style.